All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. The Indiana Pacers absolutely crush the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 6, and we are going to have a Game 7 in the NBA Finals. We're going to talk all about it here in today's video. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. I'll link to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right to it. So the Pacers dominate the Thunder. The game is still on. There's still like 7 minutes left in this game, but I decided, well, get this done quickly. Because yeah, there's not really too much to talk about. It's not gonna be a very long video. Indiana just crushed them. It was a good start to the game. The first quarter was good. OKC came out through the first punch. Indiana, I think it started like what 0 for 5, 0 for 6 in the field. OKC, J-Dub and Shea were attacking the rim, and I was like, okay, OKC's coming out with the energy. Indiana, I hope they don't roll over at any point. And then they got it going. It was Pascal Siakam, I think, helped get going in terms of, getting to the basket. His defense was really good. Andrew Nemhard got high. He hit a couple 3-pointers in this first quarter. And then the bench, TJ McConnell, who has been just awesome this entire series, comes in and still makes an impact off the bench. He got a steal off a lazy pass, got to the bucket. That little pull-up mid-range jump shot was working. Obi Toppin hit a couple of 3-pointers, and Indiana really got going. Tyrese Halliburton started to hit some shots and, started to see one go through the net. And then all of a sudden, it was just an avalanche for Indiana. Shea and J-Dub tried to keep OKC in the first half. Though they were the only two, I think, that scored in the second quarter. Those two were getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line and stuff. But no one else in OKC could really do anything. And the defensive intensity for OKC was just not there. This elite defense that we know has been carrying them throughout this playoff run was just not here tonight. And Indiana played like their season was on the line, which is one thing I said in last game. I was like, I expect Indiana to come out and at least put up a fight. At the very least, they're going to try. They're not going to roll over. That's something they don't do. And they did more than just not roll over. They dominated this game. The last couple minutes of the second quarter, where it was just an avalanche, 3-pointers falling, no look past Halbert with a no look pass to Siakam on the dunk is one of the highlights of the finals. The 3-point shooting, the defense, the turnovers. OKC. The game kind of flipped on OKC. OKC was turning the ball over a whole lot. Indiana was getting easy, fast break points in transition. Threes were falling. I feel like nothing could work for OKC. Missing layups, missing any shot they could take. It was just overall just a domination from Indiana. Third quarter starts and both teams start off really bad. OKC had their chance to kind of cut into the league, couldn't make anything happen. And yeah, that's just what it was. And now the game is still going on. It's about a 25 to 30 point game right now. I can't really see the score, but it just know Indiana crushes in this game. I don't even have the stat sheet pull up because I don't really, I don't think I need to talk about the stats or what specific players had in terms of numbers wise. But overall, this was just a domination by the Indiana Pacers. I mean, you couldn't ask for a much better performance from them. Like, you couldn't ask for really a better game from what they did. I mean, the defense was awesome, which is one of the things I was really talking about in the last couple games. Like, their defensive intensity, the aggressiveness needs to come back. And they did that tonight. Now, it feels like they were really, doing a good job on Shea, forcing the ball out of Shea's hands, turning OKC over, just getting out in transition, getting easy buckets. And then the offense was just pumping through that. TJ McConnell continues to provide off the bench in what has been an amazing series for him. Obi Toppin continues to provide. Tyrese Halliburton, despite not being anywhere near 100%, you could tell from the jump he was not 100% in this game, but he came out and played, for his guys and hit some big shots. Pascal Siakam, who I think has been the best player for Indiana so far in this series, came out and he set the tone with some great two-way games. Aaron Nesmith hit a couple 3-pointers. It was just everything was falling for Indiana. They could do no wrong, really. And they played like the season was on the line in the desperation. On the other side for OKC, this is the exact opposite. This is probably the worst game OKC's played all season. Playoff, regular season, preseason. This is the worst game they've played. I mean, the offense was just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible offense. If it wasn't Jalen Williams or Shea Gilgeous-Alexander getting to the mid-range, getting to the free throw line, or getting a layup, it was nothing. Chet Holmgren has not been great offensively. He had that one move to start the game, that little spin move, whatever. Didn't do anything. Lou Dort didn't hit 3 till like the third quarter when they were already down 25. The bench had, I think 3 points at halftime. I think Aaron Wiggins hit a pull-up transition 3. That was it. It was just nothing happening. And then the defensive end, the intensity and that kind of like chaotic, controlled chaos that we see from them, forcing turnovers, being everywhere, just wasn't really there. The perimeter was just not as on lockdown as it was in Game 5. Just really wasn't. And that intensity was just not really there. That, effort and that energy level, you know, that OKC usually plays with in the last couple games. It's just not there, not something that you see from a team that is on the verge of clinching a championship. It's just very, very odd. And now we go to a game seven. Who doesn't love a game seven in the NBA Finals? Our first one since that legendary one in 2016. So yeah, things for game seven. I expect OKC to not play like this. Not play like this. I expect OKC to come out looking like 30 times better than what this was tonight. Because this wasn't even. I don't know what this was tonight, but this was not This was not a championship team tonight. I don't know what it was. It barely was an NBA team tonight. That OKC, that OKC showed. It was really, really bad. And so I'm expecting them to go back home and game seven, winner take all. They're gonna come with it. They have to. I expect them to do it. There's not even a question. I think that they're gonna come with it. But what they have to do, that defensive intensity that has been really winning them a lot of these playoff games and has them in this position needs to be there. That chaos, that locking up people, taking pride of your matchup, that has to be there. They're gonna need Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren again to have big impact. J-Dub tried in this game, but he couldn't do it all by himself. J-Dub's gonna have to have one more big game in this series, and Chet Holmgren needs to bring some impact on the offensive end. He's been good defensively, and he's had some good defensive moments, so we've been able to give him some passes and all that stuff. Chet Holmgren needs to be something on the offensive end in game seven, I feel like. I don't know if they can go another game with Chet Holmgren having like 8, 10 points on 4 for 13 shooting and 1 for 6 from 3. Like, I don't know if they can afford that, another game from that. Especially depending on how their bench moves. Because their bench has been very up and down every other game type of thing. So they need Chet Holmgren. They need that defensive intensity to step up. Because I'm expecting Shea to have a big game. I'm dang near expecting Jalen Williams to keep doing what he does. We need Chet Holmgren. We need him, and we need the defensive intensity. For Indiana, it's going to be tough because, again, OKC's not going to play this in Game 7. You're not going to be able to catch OKC lacking like they did tonight. But what you have to expect to see is the effort level, obviously. I think the defensive pressure and defensive intensity is going to be a big telling factor in Game 7. Because when Indiana comes out and they play like this defensively and they're forcing turnovers and doing all that stuff, they win. When they don't, they lose. So the defensive pressure and the defensive intensity is something I'm going to be very watching out for Indiana to start this Game 7. Because if they don't come out with that, it's going to be a long night for them. Tyrese is going to have to continue to hit some shots. And Pascal's going to have to continue to be going. But they're going to need the role players to really, really step up in Game 7, man. They're going to need Hemar to keep hitting these shots. They're going to need Nesmith to keep hitting these threes. Anything they can get from Miles Turner would be nice. They're going to need TJ McConnell to keep doing what he has been doing this series. They're going to need Obi Toppin to hit some threes. It's going to be all hands on deck for the Indiana Pacers in Game 7. Because I assume they're going to be an underdog. And I assume it takes a lot to beat this OKC team twice in a row. No one's been able to do it. No one's been able to beat OKC twice in a row. Especially after a showing like this. They're going to come with it in Game 7. I can damn near guarantee that they're going to come with at least the effort. If they're not hitting the shots, whatever, but at least the effort and intensity level is going to be so much more different than this. I feel like I can damn near guarantee that. But for Indiana, it's going to be all hands on deck. If you want to make history, you want to do, something that no one thought you could do, then it's going to be all effort from everywhere, all hands on deck. Everybody's going to have to provide something on the court. Everybody's going to have to provide something in this game, whether it's three-point shooting, whether it's defensive pressure, whether it's rebounding. Everyone's going to have to provide something on that court. Obviously, some of the things go to OKC. They can't just have guys out there. Alex Caruso can't just be out there. Lou Dort can't just be out there just chucking threes and not making shots. They're going to need stuff as well, but I think it's more of a point of emphasis for Indiana because what you expect from OKC and what they do, especially on their home court, I expect some big things from them in Game 7. I'm very excited to see what happens. Even no matter what happens, this has been a very entertaining final series so far, very surprising series so far. And we got one more game left in the NBA season. So let's hope that it is a great one. But yeah, it's going to be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you're doing the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, doing all stuff like that. Really appreciate it. Really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.